Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha, this is Geebz. Good morning. I'm the Decomposer here at the Decomposer Lounge, pulling back the layers and dissecting your favorite tracks. I cannot tell you how many suggestions for this band has come through both Patreon and my main channel comments for a very long time. I have no idea why I never got to it, but if you saw the size of my list, I'm just like, what am I doing today? Today, Monday, I think is a good day to start with some death. Now, when I first looked them up, I didn't know what to expect, so I did a little Wikipedia, and apparently death is a legacy, if not unarguably the very first hardcore death metal band, if you would. Now remember, I'm not a historian or stuff, I'm reading it on the Wikipedia. And so I'm learning, and those of you who are fans obviously know a hell of a lot more than I do. But what an interesting story where they came from and the fact that they were considered of the first. Now I noticed in the genres it says like death metal, technical death metal, melodic death metal, and progressive metal. They snuck in the progressive metal, so I'm sure somewhere in there there's also probably some extremely incredible musicianship. So the song that I'm doing today for you guys, as I bring to you some death, I bring death. Left to Die, and it comes from, well, I think Leprosy. What did it say here? If I'm right, please check me if I'm wrong. This album was released in '88, but what I'm listening to is a 2014 reissue. So I don't know if that means if it was remastered or where it was touched up. But this is my first experience with this band, so I definitely look forward. I don't think I've ever said this in my life. I'm definitely looking forward to some death. Okay, so let's do this. Thank you guys so much for your support. Really, truly. I've even got my my Death Wish coffee that I'm drinking right now. As a matter of fact, I'm almost out. But thank you for your support. Patreon. If you want to check out the headsets I got, the link is down below. And also, if you want to buy me a cup of coopy, some of that stuff. The link is down below. I'm sorry, you guys are going, shut up, get to it. So let's do this. This is from the 1988 album Leprosy. This is a reissue from 2014. This is Left to Die by Death. All right. Wow, this is sick. The first thing that hit me though is this is going to sound a little odd, is maybe it's just me, it's too early in the morning, or maybe the coffee's kicking in, but in the days there was something that was well known in the engineering world and stuff, tape saturation, and it was an analog thing and stuff like that. And this is just giving me such the rawness of just that sound. I can't explain it. You can look it up on your own. What's tape saturation from the analog days? Because I don't want to stray from too much from this, but the power of this mix is so punchy and so in your face, but if it's not crystal, you know what I'm talking about? And there's some of that warmth of that saturation and stuff. Anyhow, so let's get on with this. At one point you saw me going, oh my God. The bass playing is a lot of times in unison with all that guitar riff and all the guitar riff and all the nuances and the harmonics on it. It's really super sick. But there are some times in there where the bass player really gouges down in that string and you can hear the teeth. I like to call it the teeth of the bass, even though it's down just killing it, you know, in its lower level, in its tone, the pocket that it owns. You can feel the bite and the teeth in that sound, that particular sound. I love the fact that they're taking us through these rhythmical journeys. Now, because I don't know, you guys check me on this and leave it in the comments. It's got punk element in it, it sounds like very punky. So if in fact they are the legacy leaders or of the, let's say, top three, so I don't start some kind of an argument on who was or wasn't, whatever. It seems like they really pulled in the darkness and the heaviness of punk, but that intensity of his vocals are insane. And I have to say too, the rhythmical approach of how he's performing that vocally, though it may sound very laid back and squared off and stuff like that, against the power of the band is so rhythmically powerful because the band is, you know, there's a lot of all this heavy movement there. And the fact that the vocals are just he's punching these eighths, you know, with these occasional 16th that he throws in there, that's just getting me all sweaty. Ooh, sorry. Please don't tell anybody I said that. That is such a suspicious 0070 sick kind of riff, you know. The little intervals that are going on in there are these little step downs and stuff that can make it so dark. And that's one of the things that I was, you know, as I've been on this journey on this channel, for some reason I'm attracted to that kind of energy. You know, that kind of heaviness and that kind of darkness. And then once again, to get back into their speed shifts that they just go and they allow something to sink in. You guys heard me talk about this recently. I've heard so many great freaking bands and prog bands and stuff. Sometimes they don't let something hang long enough, just for me, to actually dig into and sink into. And these guys do that. That voice. I have to, you know what, I'm thinking if these were the guys that were the innovators or of the innovators of, you know, this genre, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall to watch other rock bands who are pushing the envelopes listen to this project come out. Or, well, this is 88. I believe they came out earlier than this album, but when the very first style like this came crushing out, it had to be mind-numbing. They probably had to go, oh shit, what is going on here? Somebody just leveled up here. That's what it feels like to me. I'm sorry. I'm goobering a little bit. I'll bring it. that was so chaos, that that ending with the guitar. At the very last, extremely last note where he's like, and you hear how there's a reverb that fades away, and it sounded like it was a mono plate. And this to me, just for me, in theater of the mind and also in soundtrack of life, reminds me of my earlier years of engineering back in the days in analog and stuff like that. And you know, the richness of bigger plates and halls and stuff, you know, when products like the Lexicon, you know, I forgot what it's called, the Lex something, came out and stuff like that, you really had to work with different plates and rooms and halls, and they just have that sound. It's just such an organic sound back to the 80s. I'm sorry, I'll get back to it. I'm just spun back into the 80s right now by listening to this. The one last thing I want to say about this that I just love, we all know people do overdubs, right? You know, we've watched the recording process of people doing overdubs, even all the way back to the day. Whether or not these guys may have punched in now and then is irrelevant. The impact and the power of what I just heard looked like it was old school. All right, guys, this is take 16. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they lit it up and they went. You know, sometimes the vocals will get done a little later, whatever that may be. It wasn't there on the recording process or anything like that, but it just sounds so lit, so present. And the reason why I'm feeling that way is because in today's world, with everything being so tight, you know, musicians are so freaking good, and then there's editing and all kinds of stuff that goes on to have everything perfect, perfect, perfect. When you hear the flow within the power of the musicianship, and a little pseudo drift of tempo and time within the time they set. So what the humanization, the humanizing of actually playing that fast, and the drummer and the bass is going, and it's not so right on top of each other, so sterile or, you know, static right on top of each other, and that just flows, is more of the, I don't know, just the word I'm looking for. The theater of my mind is just the oozing of the heaviness. Sorry I did say that, but this was good. Look, I waited too long to do this band. Guys, I'm so sorry. Please, once again, in the comment, let me know about if there was somewhere punk influence throughout, them, those of you who are big fans of this band. I'd love to learn a little more about that. Excuse me. I'm going to listen to a couple more songs on my own, but then I'm also going to wait for some more suggestions from you guys. So I want to thank you guys for your support. I realized, I looked down and I went, man, I'm all deathed out. Death Wish Coffee. I got my shirt, the song. Thank you guys so much for your support, like usual. If you want to support the channel, this is how you do it. Otherwise, leaving your comments and liking and sharing the video and stuff is just as epic. You guys take care. Have a iller Monday and an even more badass week. You guys take care. Aloha.